Israel's defense minister said that Israeli troops neutralized 3 Palestinian militants on Tuesday who opened fire on them from a car near the occupied West Bank city of Nablus. The Palestinian Health Ministry confirmed that 3 people had been killed in the incident. A military vehicle was seen blocking access to the area of the incident as a tow truck removed the vehicle that belonged to Palestinian militants. With increased Israeli raids, Palestinian street attacks and settler rampages in Palestinian villages, violence in the West Bank has reached new heights. China's top diplomat Wang Yi met Indian National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in Johannesburg during a meeting. Wang Yi said that Beijing and New Delhi should enhance mutual trust, focus on consensus and cooperation, overcome obstacles and develop bilateral relations. Wang Yi also stressed that China will never seek hegemony and stands ready to work with developing countries, including India. This will be to support multilateralism and the democratization of international relations. The Indian representative said that they are willing to work with China to find a fundamental solution to the border issues and improve the bilateral relations in a timely manner. Iran's foreign ministry said the United States should be held responsible for the stalemate in negotiations to revive the Iran nuclear deal. The ministry said that the US government disrupted the regional peace and stability and further created differences by making false accusations in order to achieve its illegal goals. Iran signed the nuclear deal, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, in July of 2015. Iran agreed to curbing its nuclear program in return for the removal of the sanctions against it. The United States, however, pulled out of the deal in May of 2018 under the Donald Trump administration and reimposed its unilateral sanctions on Iran. French President Emmanuel Macron is on a visit to New Caledonia. The president also urged compatriots to forge a common future. The landmark visit comes more than a year after the overseas territories' disputed vote to remain part of France. Macron faces a significant challenge, charting an acceptable path for both French loyalists and indigenous Canucks, who widely boycotted the December 2021 referendum and rejected its result. Russia launched its 6th air attack this month on Kiev on Tuesday. The military administration said that air raid alerts blared for over 3 hours. Russia attacked Kiev with Iranian-made Shahid drones. The head of Kiev's military administration said that based on preliminary information, all the drones were downed by Ukraine's air defense systems. The crush incident that took place in South Korea in October of 2022, killing over 150 people, has re-emerged. South Korea's Constitutional Court ruled against a parliamentary vote to impeach the Interior Minister over his response to the deadly accident. The court said that Minister Lee Sang-min's remarks were inappropriate, but they did not amount to grounds for impeachment. On October of 29th, hundreds of Halloween partygoers were trapped in a crowd crush in Seoul's district. The area is narrow, steep, streets and constrained access points proved to be a lethal mix, which left about 150 people dead. North Korea fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea off its east coast. As per South Korea's military, the launch took place hours after a US nuclear-powered submarine entered a naval base in South Korea's island of Jeju to load military supplies. Japan's Prime Minister condemned the launch by North Korea, which fell outside its exclusive economic zone. Now, the launches come amid heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula as South Korea and the United States take steps to increase their military readiness against North Korea's weapons program. The United States government has sued Texas Governor Greg Abbott over a floating barrier installed across the Rio Grande River. Now, this barrier is a part of the Republican Party's novel tactics to prevent migrants from crossing the natural border into the United States. The barriers are made out of bright orange buoys which float on water. Currently, the barrier is roughly 1,000 feet in length. The U.S. Justice Department has asked a federal judge in Austin to order Texas to remove the floating barriers. The DOJ lawsuit also claims that Texas installed the barrier illegally without prior permission from Mexico. White House has urged Russia to stop attacking Ukraine's grain supplies and also rejoin the Black Sea Grain Initiative. Just recently, Russia accused Ukraine of launching a drone attack on Moscow. The targets included the Defense Ministry's headquarters and an office building in southern Moscow. Now, in response, Russian forces struck port infrastructures in Ukraine, causing disruption in grain exports. Now, these attacks come after Russia cancelled a grain deal, leading to market anxiety and increased wheat prices. The situation also raises concerns about the impact on global food supplies and transportation costs. Hundreds of people gathered in Baghdad's Al-Sadr city to protest against recent incidents of disrespect to the Quran in Denmark and Sweden. Protesters did self-flagellation acts, which is a Shia religious ritual to express anger and grief. The protest came days after people angered by the desecration of the Islamic holy book in Sweden stormed the Swedish embassy in Baghdad. The Iraqi government has cut diplomatic ties with Sweden in protest over the incidents. Now, as per reports, an ultra-nationalist group last week burned a copy of the Holy Book of Quran in front of the Iraq embassy in Copenhagen. China and Russia wrapped up military exercise in the Sea of Japan. According to Chinese state media, the exercise aimed at safeguarding the security of waterways. More than 10 warships and over 30 warplanes from both sides took part in the 4-day exercise. Chinese state broadcaster carried footage of Chinese and Russian warships taking part in the firing drill at sea. The show of solidarity between the two militaries come at a time when the United States is increasing its ties with Japan and South Korea. TikTok chef launches her first restaurant in Los Angeles after she became a social media sensation as a home cook. Known on social media as Twadabe, she first started posting mukbangs or videos in which people live stream themselves eating. But it was her cooking videos that made her genuinely popular on platforms like TikTok. With over 1 million followers across TikTok and Instagram, She got in touch with investors and has opened her own restaurant in Los Angeles, one of the most competitive food markets in the world. Kiyoshi Hashimoto, an 82-year-old entrepreneur in Tokyo, runs a machine factory he founded 40 years ago. He hasn't found a successor or buyer for his business, and Japan's aging population is making it hard for many small businesses to survive. According to a government report, around 1.27 million small business owners will be 70 or older by 2025 and have no one to take over their businesses. This trend could lead to the loss of up to 6.5 million jobs. Hashimoto's factory, which used to employ many people, now only has 2 part-time workers. According to experts, now this problem is so significant that Japan is facing an era of mass closures. US President Joe Biden will designate a national monument at 3 sites in honor of Emmett Till and also his mother, Mamie Till Mobley. Emmett Till, at the age of 14, was lynched for allegedly whistling at a white woman in 1955. Till's mother held an open casket funeral so people could see her son's mangled body, a decision that helped kick off the civil rights movement. Biden is slated to sign a proclamation in honor of Till's 82nd birthday. The Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument will be featured in Chicago and also Mississippi. Greece is experiencing a devastating wildfire crisis that has swept across the nation, causing chaos and destruction. Some 30,000 people were forced to leave homes and hotels on roads over the weekend. The Prime Minister has declared that Greece is at war with wildfires. The Prime Minister held out the prediction that mayhem will continue for the next 3 days. One of Greece's top tourist destinations is battling fierce wildfires. Over 2,500 tourists visiting the popular Corfu Island have been evacuated. Planes are dropping water bombs to douse the raging fires in one of the villages. And wildfires raging across Algeria have killed at least 25 people, including 10 soldiers trying to bring the blaze under control in the face of high winds and scorching summer temperatures. As per the Interior Ministry, at least 1,500 people were evacuated. Wildfires, some of them spread by strong winds, moved across forests and agriculture areas in 16 regions, causing 97 fires in the North African country. Now, fires also rage again in Tunisian pine forest near the border with Algeria after another blaze in the area last week. According to the National Guard, flames were fanned by winds and the temperatures, which needed 50 degrees Celsius. At least 300 people were evacuated from the nearby village, and as per Tunisian officials, during last week's inferno, more than 1,100 acres of forest had been burnt down. Colombian President Gustavo Petro visited the site of a landslide which killed at least 22 people. The landslide destroyed homes and a crucial highway which links the south of Colombia to the capital of Bogota. Petro met with locals affected by the disaster and said that short-term emergency help would be given in the form of emergency packages. The government would look to relocate families and also support them to continue their agricultural work. Over to the world of business. Binance the world's largest crypto exchange, and its CEO are fighting back against a complaint filed by the US Commodity Futures Trading Commission. The CFTC accused them of violating federal regulations and operating a quote-unquote illegal exchange. Binance is submitting its response on July 27th, seeking dismissal. They're also facing a separate lawsuit from the US SEC over alleged deceptive operations. Meanwhile, the Justice Department is investigating Binance for possible money laundering and sanctions violations. In response to the booming demand for artificial intelligence, Taiwanese chipmaker TSMC has announced a massive investment of nearly $2.87 billion in an advanced packaging facility in northern Taiwan. The facility will cater to the growing need for advanced packaging, allowing multiple chips to be placed into a single device, making powerful computing more cost-effective. The new plant is expected to create approximately 1,500 jobs.